the streets, windmills in our sight. Every moment here feels just right. Summer in the Netherlands, where the days are long.
Alright, welcome everyone to this new vlog. If you are looking to plan a quick, efficient, action-packed trip to Amsterdam and or Brussels, this is the video for you, because I am here in Amsterdam for the next 2 days and then Brussels for 1 day, and I'm going to show you everything that I'm up to. And we are starting here our first morning at Grand Palace of Amsterdam, which is right at the popular public square of Dam Square. We're spending the morning here walking through central Amsterdam to get to the Rijksmuseum, and then plenty more after that as well. So let's start the first day. So walking through the streets of central Amsterdam right now, and it's actually a lot more peaceful than I expected. Maybe this is not where people go on a Thursday morning, but I thought there would be more people. Definitely a lot of bikes though, and have seen a fair amount of bikers, but not as many as I expected. Anyways, wanted to give a little bit more detail on what I'm up to in Amsterdam. So I've basically broken it up into 2 days. Today is all about exploring the city, the sights, the main attractions. Tomorrow we are doing a day tour to the surrounding area, and then that night we are taking a train over to Brussels to explore for 1 day there. Okay, we are at the Albert Kuip market right now, where they're selling all sorts of stuff, from clothing to food to souvenirs. And speaking of food, I do need to grab something before I head to the museum, and we do have a timed entry in about half an hour, so let's see what I can find. Okay, got some Portuguese egg tarts from a nice Dutch man who insisted that these are the best in the world. So we will see about that. Egg tarts were very good. I don't know about best in the world, but good nonetheless. And I wanted to mention, Amsterdam has a lot of great museums, and the 3 most popular ones are the Rijksmuseum, the Van Gogh Museum, and also the Anne Frank House. And I was told by locals that if you're tight on time like me, the best one to go to is the Rijksmuseum if you had to pick one, because it is the biggest, it is the national museum of the Netherlands. It spans art as well as history of the country. So that is why we are here now. And we are fortunate to have a guided tour to make the most of our experience here. So I am in the museum now. Got the headset only just to help me hear our tour guide, because we have an actual tour guide, which is nice. And what's interesting is they split the museum by time period for each floor. And yeah, excited to see what the museum has in store. Alright, very cool museum, a lot of interesting art. They've got so many famous Dutch painters, from Van Gogh to Rembrandt to others. And I just left the museum. Now we're gonna head over to Vondelpark, which is one of the most famous public parks in Amsterdam. So for lunch, I'm not going here, but I'm going next door to this place, which actually my tour guide at the museum recommended, and it is Surinamese food. If you don't know, Suriname is a former Dutch colony on the northern coast of South America. I've never been before, and I've also never tried Surinamese food before, so figured I'd give it a shot. So that food was pretty good. Honestly, I don't know if it was as good as if I went to a proper Dutch restaurant, but you know, I tried something new. It's very similar to typical food you would find in Asia because of all the influences that they have in Suriname. So yeah, still glad I tried. And anyways, now we are walking to Vondel Park, and on the way we are in this other park called Museumplein, which is really in the center of all the action. You can see there's a concert hall behind me. Here is one museum. Here is the Van Gogh Museum, which we're not going to go to, but it's also very popular. Back there is the Rijksmuseum, which we did just go to. And beautiful day today, so everyone out and about and walking around. All right, we have made it to Vondel Park, which is a beautiful big park here on the south side of Amsterdam. Came on a perfect day. As you can see, it is nice and sunny. Tons of people here just walking, biking of course, relaxing, just sort of what I'm here to do as well. So enjoy some shots of the park here.
Canals are flowing gently, boats are sailing by. Kids are playing happily under the clear sky. We stroll through Amsterdam, hand in hand, making memories in this beautiful land. Summer in the Netherlands, where the days are long. Summer in the Netherlands, where we sing our songs. Summer in the Netherlands, with you by my side.
Okay, we're walking back toward the center of the city and just wanted to show you. Look at all the bikes here lining the canal. The Dutch really do bike everywhere. It seems like everyone's got a bike somewhere out on the street. So probably the thing that Amsterdam is most known for are the canals, of course. And you might think that maybe it's just a couple canals that go through the city, but it's actually a whole bunch of them. These canals are all over the place, and specifically near the center of the city, they sort of form these semicircular rings by the center of the city. And so yeah, you see them all over the place, and they are super scenic, as you can tell. So I'm just doing some general exploring of the area right now. Currently we are in an area known as the Negen Straatjes, which is also translated into the 9 streets in English. And this, along with the neighboring Jordaan district, are supposedly 2 of the most trendy areas where people come for the shops and the restaurants and just to spend nice days like today. So I am hoping to see some of the scenic sights, and I'll show them to you as well, of course. So even for a supposedly popular and trendy area like Jordaan, where I am right now, there's definitely some popular areas like by the canals, and also some areas like this where honestly there aren't that many people, so it's kind of peaceful and nice to just, you know, walk around and explore. Well, here is the Anne Frank house, which is now a museum behind me, and although I'm not going during this trip, I do have a tip for you, which is if you are interested, definitely book ahead online. Tickets are available every Tuesday at 10 a.m. local time online, and they are available for 6 weeks in advance, so get them while you can. So I know this is not really a dinner item, but I had to. Some classic Dutch apple pancakes. Look at it compared to my head. It's so big. Okay, heading back to the hotel a little bit earlier than I normally would, but that is because we have an early morning tomorrow to start our day tour. And speaking of my hotel, I should note that it is in the De Wallen neighborhood, which is this area here. And you can see from here and also these other clips that I will show you that it is a pretty lively environment both during the day and even late at night, like when I arrived last night. Now, it is actually home to the famous red light district, and no, I'm not showing any of that here because we are a family-friendly channel. But you know, most of it really is just a very nice area, actually, with restaurants and shops and stuff. So, okay, I will see you in the morning. All right, it is 7:45 in the morning, and we are headed to our day tour. This is the day trip to the small surrounding towns of Zaanstad, Edam, Volendam, and Marken. And I booked this from the VA Tour site, and in case you're wondering, it is run by Amsterdam Guides and Tours. It's the most popular one, I think, if you search online. So yeah, headed to the meeting spot right now. I'm running a little bit late, but should be good. Okay, made it onto the bus. All right, for our first stop, we are about 20-25 minutes outside of Amsterdam in the town of Zaanstad, which is famous for the iconic Dutch windmills. All right, got myself a stroopwafel and time to check out some windmills. We're out here right by the water, and look at the nice windmills. Oh my goodness, it is also so windy out here. Hopefully you can hear me. All right, windmills were cool, stroopwafel was good. Time to head back to the tour bus. Okay, now walking with our tour group through the little town of Edam. So apparently one of the things that this little town is known for is their cheese. You can see a little cheese shop there, and we're heading over to a local cheese farm to learn about how they make their cheese and maybe even try some ourselves.
Water that lies about being milk, that's what skimmed milk is. Giovanni, truffle. Hoi Giovanni, hoe gaat het met jou? Okay, truffle cheese, now the next cheese please.
Pretty good cheese. Okay, I swear, those sheep sound just like humans trying to sound like sheep. But anyways, we are outside where we were learning about the cheese, and as you saw, they also taught us how they make the famous Dutch clogs, which are the wooden shoes. So pretty interesting stuff. Alright, we are now walking through the old town of Volendam, which used to be an old fishing village. And to be honest, now I think it is just sort of a place where tourists go. Lots of restaurants and shops. You can see the street behind me, pretty much just tourists. So just getting some lunch, walking around a little bit, and then we have one more stop before heading back into Amsterdam. Alright, last stop of the tour outside of Amsterdam is the town of Marken. Look at these cute little traditional Dutch houses behind me. Alright, heading heading back to the bus, and while I'm on the way to the bus, this area is actually quite residential, so not touristy, which is good. You can see a lot of nice little houses made from wood and also brick. And by the way, the tour is not over after this. We have a very special thing in store once we get back into the city. Alright, now that we are back in Amsterdam, here is a special thing that I told you about. We are doing a canal cruise.
Canals are flowing gently, boats are sailing by, kids are playing happily under the clear sky. We stroll through Amsterdam hand in hand, making memories in this beautiful land.
Okay, well that was a pretty cool tour. Now that we are done with the canal tour, we are wandering a little bit. I am in Wester Park right now, which is another nice park on the west side of the city. Gonna chill here for a bit and then head to dinner before we have to catch our train in a few hours. Alright, for my last meal in Amsterdam, I'm going authentic, classic Dutch food. These are called stampots. Looks pretty good. And check out the place. Very authentic vibes. Alright, now as the sun is setting in the background, we are here at Amsterdam Central Station. Look at how beautiful this station is. They actually designed it after the Rijksmuseum, which we visited. But yeah, we're here to catch our train over to Brussels. Should be about a 2-hour train ride. And yeah, now you can see what it's like to take the Eurostar. Well, we are on the train. Super easy process. All I had to do, scan my ticket when I entered the station. Didn't even have to interact with a single person to get on the train or anything, so super easy. I know it's not always like that. Like when I came from London, there was a whole security check and everything, but at least for here, and when I was in Paris recently, super easy. Think we're leaving. Alright, 2 hours later, we have made it into Brussels, Belgium, and I just checked in to my hotel here, which is right by the train station. So the last thing I want to say for my quick review of Eurostar here is regarding the price. So it really depends on where you're going. So for example, this last train ride I took from Amsterdam, it was only 25 euros. But if you watch my previous vlog, you'll know that I was recently in Paris, and I actually went straight from Paris to Amsterdam, and that ride was closer to 100 euros. So it can fluctuate a lot. That being said, a lot of the train stations I've noticed are in the center of the city versus the airports, which are not. And so from a convenience and time standpoint, it might actually be about the same or even more convenient, depending on where you're going, to take the train. And certainly, taking the train is a more scenic route. And so all in all, I think it depends where you're going, but Eurostar definitely is very easy to take, definitely is more scenic, and depending on the price, could be a good option for you. Okay, with that, I need to get to bed because it is quite late, and we have an exciting day of exploring Brussels ahead of us tomorrow. Alright, it is a beautiful day out here in Brussels to be exploring the city, and our first stop is Monnikamp, which you can tell by how many people are behind me there how popular it is. It has become an icon of the city, and really it's just this small statue of a little boy peeing into the fountain. But yeah, it is quite unique. Check it out. Okay, what better way to start off a day here in Belgium than with a famous Belgian waffle? And I'm here at one of the most popular places to get it, Waffle Factory. Alright, waffles secured. You can see I actually got two kinds of waffles. I got a typical Belgian waffle with sweet toppings, and also this one, which I was not expecting. It actually is a croque or one of their lunch waffles. You can see there's ham and cheese inside. So I get to try two different kinds of waffles today. I feel like my whole perspective on waffles has changed now that I had a main course waffle followed by a dessert waffle. You know, Waffle Factory might not be the fanciest place, but it is good value and a great place to try some Belgian waffles. So anyways, enough about waffles because we are here at Mont des Arts. You can see this beautiful garden here that I'm walking through, and that is the Royal Palace up there, which we are going to next. Okay, I might have been slightly confused before. This is Place Royale, which is this building I was talking about before, not to be confused with Palais Royal, which is the Royal Palace. So I am trying to find the actual Royal Palace now. All right, here is the Royal Palace of Brussels. It was right next to Place Royale. You can see it is quite the nice building, and surprisingly, there are actually not too many people here, which is good. Now, right across the street from the Royal Palace is the Park of Brussels, which I am walking through here, and if you're visiting the Royal Palace, might as well take a nice stroll through this park as well. Okay, after a half-hour walk to the east of the city, I have made it here to Parc du Cinquantenaire. And you can see behind me the main reason that I and most people come here to this park, which is this old monument here, and it is a triple arch with a bronze sculpture on top. And in addition to that monument, it's just a very nice park, not too many people, nice walking paths, so I'll be chilling here for a bit before heading back into the center of the city. Alright, just got off the metro, back in the center of the city, passing by the St. Michel and Gudule Cathedral back there. And you know, the metro is actually quite nice here. It's pretty clean, pretty quick, and yeah, saved my legs from some more walking because I've been doing quite a lot of walking, but it has been worth it to see cities like this. Okay, we're now in the Royal Galleries of St. Hubert, which is not your ordinary shopping center, because look at how nice this place is. Have you ever seen a shopping center that looks like this? Alright, now we are probably at the most visited place in all of Brussels, which is Grand Place. And the centerpiece is this town hall building behind me. But everywhere around here in this big public square is just beautiful. Many of these buildings dating back to the 14th century. So very historic, but still very beautiful. Just walking around the streets of Brussels here. All the streets here are so nice with very scenic buildings and nice architecture. So a great walking city to just walk around and explore. Now, as I'm walking around here, I should note the one place that I'm not visiting in Brussels today is Atomium, which is way off in the distance over there, about a 20-minute drive from the city center. And it is a giant atom, which is clad in stainless steel, originally constructed for the 1958 Brussels World Fair. And it is also next to Mini Europe, which is really cool as well. And these are two iconic landmarks in Brussels, which I would highly recommend you visit if you're planning your trip. I'm just not visiting simply because it is a little bit outside the city and I have some time constraints, but I did want to note this for you in case you are planning your own Brussels trip. Okay, for my final meal here in Brussels, I'm trying a traditional Belgian dish of rabbit. My first time ever having rabbit in my life. Alright, the rabbit was actually surprisingly good, pretty similar to chicken, but I could tell the difference just based on the bone structure. And they cooked it in a nice traditional stew. The place is called Le Bistro, which is next to Porte de Hall here, in case you want to check it out. Alright, we are back at the train station here in Brussels, and you know what that means. It means we are at the end of this trip. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me to Amsterdam, then taking the Eurostar train over to Brussels to explore Brussels some more. And yeah, if you are planning a trip like this yourself, I hope it helped you. And thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next adventure.
Summer